Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to another meeting of RSS, no matter where you're at in the world. I see that we have guests. If you are a guest, we want you to participate in table topics, and also after the meeting, we would love to get your input as to how our meeting was. If you do not want to participate in table topics, please get a hold of Melba, who is the table topics master. Everyone knows the drill. Keep yourself muted when you're not speaking, but also stay on camera unless there's a reason not to, because it's so much more friendly if we can all see each other's smiles. Without any further ado, let's get this show on the road. Let me turn this over to our president, the esteemed Miss Yasmin.
Thank you very much, Sergeant of Arms, and yet indeed welcome you all. Welcome from the different parts of the globe that defines Roseburg speakers and storytellers. We really stand unique in the sense we are connecting from almost all the continents and different time zones, but the idea is same: the positive energy, the spirit of learning, and sort of continuous learning in a positive environment. So Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers is a hybrid club. We meet every week, same day, same time, and you are all more than welcome always. I'm very glad to see all the members, more and more members coming in. And I would really like to use the opportunity to welcome one of our dearest and newest member of Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers, Julie. Julie, you're more than welcome. It is really, really, really nice for us, sort of privileged to have you here. I see Amy has also joined. Let me take the chance to say welcome, Amy. We are very glad to see you back after so long. And this just feels that, okay, Roseburg is now getting back into action. We have many guests. I'm very delighted to just welcome some of our repeated guests who have been with us for, say, more than 3 weeks. Yalan, Kathy, Jerry, really welcome. And we are always very glad to have you in our team and our meetings here. Sorry, Steven, I forgot to mention Steven. We have some of the first time visitor member guests in our club. I can see Amber, Jasmine. So please feel free. This is your club. I hope you will have very good time as we proceed with our meeting. But before we begin, if you would like to just introduce yourself to our club, let us know if you are new to Toastmaster or how did you hear about us. So maybe to begin with, Amber, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I was introduced by Yasmin itself, the president of this show. I visited and she informed me, so I was really curious to attend this show. She just sent me link and just jumped upon this and joined it. I was just waiting for get it to be 6. Myself, Dr. Amber Zahra. I have a doctorate in economics from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi. And I have 13 years of experience as a consultant economic policy and international affairs, with including Minister of Finance, UNICEF, UNDP. Right now, I'm in Abu Dhabi. So basically, right now, my project is to take care of my younger ones. So taking care of the kids is a thing apart from your own career. So right now, I'm busy in that and other conferences and talk shows and this Toastmaster like things. So I really would like to be a part of this forever. And thanks go to especially to Yasmin. Thank you so much. So here is the Amber.
Thank you so much, Amber. We are so delighted and we are very happy that you begin your Toastmaster journey through our club. This is special for us. Jasmine, you are here with us. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jasmine. I come from Dongguan English Toastmasters Club. And I come to here because of Yalan, Stephen, and Kathy are one of our club member, and I want to come here to learn more, from your club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for visiting us. We are all here to learn from each other. We are very glad to have you. Now, without any further ado, I would like to invite the special person of the day who is going to take us for the next 1.5 hours on a very special journey. None other than the distinguished Toastmaster, Christina, who is going to be the Toastmaster of the day. I will fall short of words to describe Christina. She's the most positive and inspiring person we have seen. She is really a good teacher. Her patience and her calmness is the quality we all admire and would like to adopt. So without any further ado, let's all put our hands together to give the floor to Christina and invite her as TMOD of the day. Christina, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Yasmin, for that beautiful introduction. It's a lot to live up to. Well, it's my pleasure, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, to be your Toastmaster today. And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I love our multicultural club. I think it's lovely to have a theme of the day because we actually get to learn from each other, we get inspired, and it adds a little bit of fun. So our theme for today is our favourite holidays. So as I introduce people, I'm going to just give a little nutshell of what their favourite holidays were. So me personally, I love to travel and I feel very blessed to have had some really lovely holidays. But today I'm just going to say I loved a tour that I took to India a number of years ago. I went to Delhi and Agra and Rajasthan, and the Taj Mahal is just as beautiful as it looks in the pictures. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a magical experience. The person who opened our meeting today, our Sergeant at Arms Tiger, told me about his holidays as a kid, and he said every July his parents took him on a 2-week exploration in the Western US. How lovely. And he loves the road trips, the campfires and the swimming. Doesn't that sound great? And next we had our president, Yasmin, who also has some lovely holidays to choose from. But she told me that she'd been to Fiji and Papua New Guinea because they were the most remote places that she'd ever thought that she was going to visit. So next up on our list of priorities, I need to explain that our meeting is in 3 parts. We have prepared speeches, we have some impromptu speaking called table topics, and we close up with evaluations. But in order to help me on this journey today, I need to introduce you to my team. So the first person that I'd like you to introduce you to is going to be our stand-in timer for today, Sarah. And Sarah's favourite holiday was a number of years ago. She went backpacking with a good friend in Europe and North Africa. And they took in 7 countries flying low-cost airlines, and friends hosted them, so they didn't spend too much money and they had an amazing trip. So on that note, please help me to welcome Sarah, our timer, to explain what her role is for today.
Thank you, Christina. Indeed, when you are traveling, you need to take care of the time, of the schedule of the flight, etc. So similar to that, I will help you during the meeting to keep track of the time. And for this, I will change my background so that when the prepared speeches are taking place, you will see at the 5 minutes, the background in green, then in the minute 6, the background in yellow, and in the minute 7, the background in red, which means that you only have 30 seconds. The same way where you are taking up the role for table topic, you will see in 1 minute, the green, 1.5, yellow, and 2 minutes, the red one. With this, I will give you a report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Christina.
Thank you, Sarah. Next up, we have the privilege of having a guest grammarian today. So I'd like to introduce you to Yalan, who is going to be our grammarian. And she tells me that her favorite holiday is Christmas. And she was telling me about in 2005, when she first went to the US, she really learned all about Christmas for the, you know, all the meaning behind it for the first time. So I thought that was a beautiful story. So on that note, please help me to welcome Yalan.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody here. My name is Yalan. I am a senior guest at RXS. Thank you so much for having me. So when I heard the theme of today was delightful, sorry, not delightful, was the holiday of your favorite holiday. So the first word that came to my mind was delightful, which means very pleasant, enjoyable. And it's actually is an adjective which we can use in describing a holiday or an evening or a wonderful day that we have. So for example, this is a delightful meeting to have or to start the day with. So I will be watching over everybody, the use of language, and I will deliver a report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Christina.
Thank you, Yalan. Next up, we have our guest, our counter for today. I'd like to introduce you to Julie. Julie, before you introduce your role, would you like to give us an example of what one of your favourite holidays has been? Please welcome Julie.
Thank you. I think I am a member now of your club, so no more a guest. And I will count how many times you repeat filler words. For example, at the beginning, just Christina used 7 times so. And I will try to see what kind of other filler words you use, like and so on, and report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Julie. It's always really good to have these things pointed out. So thank you for that. We'll look forward to hearing your report later. Now straight in to our prepared speeches for the day. My apologies. Of course, Julie is a new member. That was my mistake. We go straight into our prepared speeches and we start with a guest speaker, Stephen, who is talking from the Pathways Leadership Development Project 2, and he has an intriguing title, Journey to the Metaverse. Please welcome, with Journey to the Metaverse, Stephen.
Thank you. Hey, Stephen, I'm leaving Apple in 2 weeks. Really? You're leaving? This is my friend, King, who is calling me and telling me he's leaving Apple. I was so surprised. I mean, why? Apple is a great company, man. And you are really good there. You should stay. Well, I found a better opportunity. So 2 weeks later, I found out that he's going to Meta. So at that time, the name was Facebook. I called upon again and asked, hey, King, how are you doing at Facebook? Well, it's good. I got more time with my family, and I can send my kids to school. Yeah, it's less pressure than Apple. Wow, it sounds like you find your life. Why don't you introduce me there? He didn't hesitate and said, why not? Then 1 week later, I got a call from the recruiter and asked to schedule a phone interview with me. So 2 weeks later, I had this round 1 interview. So the interviewer is asking, why Facebook? So I told him because Facebook is a great company. I'm sorry, I messed up this story. Let me reverse a little bit. So before, after I know I'm going to have an interview with Facebook, I was very worried. So I started searching on the internet. I searched a lot of information on YouTube, trying to find how to pass the interview with Meta. And then I also started using Google to search for information about the banks or the question banks of how to pass the Facebook interviews. I spend a lot of time doing this day and night. After work, I don't do anything else. I just searching for information and watching tons of videos by the YouTubers who's in talking about how to pass interviews in big tech companies. At that time, I found that the contents is pretty similar. They are telling me one strategy, which is be confident in the interview. So the content actually does not matter as much as you think. The key to pass the interview is to show them you are a very confident person and you can do the job well. So then the day came, round 1 with the phone interview from the HR. I was very nervous. And she also asked some challenging question, like, tell me the biggest contribution you did for your company. It was a very hard question. I don't know how to answer. But anyway, I finished that one and I was a little bit worried. But luckily, 2 weeks later, I found that I passed. Then I came to round 2 with the peer screening. So there's a peer guy who is doing the same job with me, and he's interviewing me. He's a very nice guy. He's smiling the whole interview and it makes me feel very comfortable. And at that time, I think I must have passed, no problem. And it's not a surprise, I did pass. I was so happy because I went to the final round, the loop interview. There will be 4 people from different functions, functional managers from each department I'm going to work closely with. For this final loop interview, it's more challenging because all these people look like always like this, try to maybe scare you or threatening you or looks a little bit scary and ask some tricky questions. What do you know about SMT? Sorry, what? I don't know. I don't know what is SMT. So I just tell them I don't know because I really don't know. How do you build trust with the people you don't know or with your colleagues? These are very challenging questions. But because I did some research, I spent a lot of efforts. So I know how to answer these questions the way they like it. So finally, I finished all this loop interview with these 4 managers. And then starting the long journey of waiting. 1 week passed, no news. I think I failed. 2 weeks passed, still no news. So I think I failed, definitely failed. 2 weeks, no news. And then the 3rd week, I got a call from the recruiter. Hey, Steven, congratulations. You passed the interview. Let's talk about the offer. So that's it. Like I got the offer from Facebook, Metaverse, or the Metaverse company. Yeah, I was recalling this whole journey. I think the key for me to succeed this interview process is I was very confident in this whole performance of the interview. I was not scared. I showed the positive side of me to them. And this is why I'm saying like confidence, self-confidence is magic. If you really show it, there will be miracle happens. So this is my story. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. That was inspirational. We have a second speaker for today who is just getting herself prepared. And our second speaker is Roku. She's going to be performing Understanding Conflict Resolution, which is a level 3 from the Influence Pathway. And her speech title is Interpersonal Communication Eliminates Workplace Conflicts. But before she goes into the speech, I'm just going to quickly say what her favourite holiday was, because she told me that as a kid, she went to Mumbai and she describes it as the never sleeping city of India. She had a fabulous holiday. It was so exciting because it was her first holiday tour and she made some really awesome memories to cherish for a lifetime. So how lovely is that? Please welcome Roku with her speech entitled Interpersonal Communication Eliminates Workplace Conflicts.
Thank you so much, TM Odi. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear RSS family and esteemed guests of RSS. Workplace conflicts are one of the most common undertakings which could be experienced by the individuals while working within any of the organization. Conflicts could be termed as one of the unavoidable parts in any of the organization. But there are some reasons which could be identified as the cause for conflicts taking place in the organization. Workplace conflicts could be defined as a disagreement which takes place between any of the two or more individuals who are working towards achievement of one single common goal. Or this could be done due to lack of communication, which takes place between the two individuals. I'm sorry, there's some glitch with my laptop. 1 second. I think I have to restart my laptop. Can someone please start the recording? Because I will have to stop it.
Don't stop, just leave. Just leave. We are hosts, so it will continue. The recording won't stop.
Okay.
Yeah. You can reconnect. Yeah, Christina will take over.
Thank you, Roku. In that case, we'll move swiftly on to the table topics and we'll come back to Roku when she's back online. So can I please now introduce our table topics master for the day, who's going to be Melva. And Melva's favourite holiday was when she had a family holiday in Thailand and they met her grandpa's family. She was so grateful to meet them after a long time when they hadn't seen each other, and it was a wonderful sense of family. So I think that sounds like a lovely introduction to our table topics master for the day. Please help me to welcome Melva.
Thanks a lot, Christina, for introduction. And yeah, now I'm leading Table Topic Master, and this session is fun, no right, no wrong. Okay, I really appreciate your thought. Actually, I already prepared the questions and it relates to our theme, favorite holiday. Let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. Holiday, yeah, I know everyone loves holiday. I do love too. And as I said, I already prepared some questions and boom. And I want to grab a question or I'll point someone. Tiger. Oh, Jasmine, oh, you're the first. Oh, Jasmine, you raised that. Jasmine already show the letter, and what letter do you pick up?
I would like to choose H.
H. Oh, this is the question. Did you ever use your body language to communicate with local people when you were in holiday? Did you ever use body language to communicate with local people when you were in holiday? Jasmine, 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Actually, I have a short vacation to Dali City, Yunnan province in China last week. And it seems my network is not working. Hello?
Yeah, Jasmine, we can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you. And when I arrived in Dali, I was alone, and I wasn't unhappy that day, so I didn't want to speak. And when I need some help, I use body language. But since I am Chinese and others in Dali are Chinese, so I just I use my use my smile to show my attitude, positive attitude, and I want to buy something, I will use my finger to point out what is what I want. And actually, this is the only one story when I see this title. Hope you can enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing your experience. I know that's so hard when we were holiday in another country and we don't know about their language and try to make them understand what we meant. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Okay, next. Jerry.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, what number do you want to pick up? What letter? I'm so sorry.
I want to pick up D.
D?
Yeah.
Okay, D, here we go. Okay. The question for you is, during the holidays, what lessons do you get?
During the holidays,
During
what
the
lessons do I get?
Yes.
I think the lessons I get is respect the culture of the local of the local area, because you know when we travel, actually we want to travel as far as our leave the town. Sometimes we will go overseas, even in local China, because in China is a very big country, and many cities. About 4 years ago, I went to visit the west of China. There are many minor groups, not like our major Han group in China. So the people over there, they spend most of the time to take care of sheep, and this kind of living habits is totally different from where I live, the south of China, and the language is also different. So when I visited there, I crossed the border of the zoo, and one guy came to me and scolded me. It's very rude. Get out loud. But I think this I get a very good lesson. In the going forward, I must respect the culture of the different location and the different background of the people. But anyway, overall, I think the whole journey is very delightful. I like it very much. I encourage everyone to visit China, the west of China. It's very beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, Jerry, thanks a lot for sharing your experience. I got speechless. Okay, next, Amber. I see you already raise your hand. Oh. Amber, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
What letter?
A. A.
I'm so sorry.
I like letter A.
E.
A. Not E. A. Amber. A. D. A. Y.
A for
Amber.
A for holiday. A.
For letter A already.
A as an apple.
Apple is already gone, already picked up by Jerry. You can't use this letter. O? Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay, the questions for you is, what do you like the most? Spending your holiday in your country or another country? What do you like the most? Spending your holiday in your country or another country? Amber, 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I would like to say I would like to spend my holidays in other countries, because in my own country I can visit on the weekends itself. For the other countries I'll get good time, so I will have a time to explore the country or the places in the country, because that I can't visit on the weekends. So I think this much is enough. For other reasons, I would like to learn the culture, their habits, their attitudes, the people. So I love to travel. So traveling in the holidays, traveling to other countries, I would be enriched with lots of knowledge, lots of experience, and other skills I would be able to learn. And I would also be able to make others sure what my culture is. I would be spreading my own culture in other countries, because if I will be moving around in my country, everybody would be knowing what is happening in my country, so it is not going to enrich anything else. But visiting to the other country, when I'm coming back, I'm also like adding a feather in my wings. So I think visiting to the other country would add lots of values in me, in others, and too it will be an enrichment in my country's cultural and other kinds of, it will increase tourism, because if I will visit other countries people will be inspired and they will visit to my country. So being an economist, it will support to my economy, my culture, and other countries like socio-economic and overall development. So visiting to other countries is the only thing I would like to do in my holidays.
Okay, I'm gonna give a round of applause to her. Wow, that's amazing. Actually, I have some thought. Yeah, sometimes travel to another country, just want to get another experience, when if you want to see another view about something, another point about something, this positive thought to travel another country. Okay, I'm still having another letter. And I want to pick up the question. Tiger. Hi, Tiger.
Hi, Melba.
Tiger.
I'm gonna have you
Tiger.
ask Melba. I'm gonna have you ask Kanang. I want to make sure that Kanang gets involved with
Kanang.
table topics. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Kunang.
you.
My pleasure. Kunang. Hi, Kunang.
Hi, Milva.
Okay. Are you willing to grab a question?
Okay.
Okay. What letter do you want to pick up? I'm available. A letter L, I. Here we go. Wow. Letter I. Okay. This question is, who do you often travel with? Your family or your friends?
Oh, first of all, thank you for the president that's giving me the opportunity to answer the question, and hello everybody here. Who I would like to travel with? I prefer both with my families, my friends, and sometimes alone. I don't know what I want to do and where I want to go. So sometimes I need to travel alone, and sometimes I need to travel with my family and with my friends. And I got different experience. While I was at teacher training school, I usually travel with my friends just around our town and our countries. Example like for study tours, and for traveling with my family, we have a short trip to the other province. It's a happy time with families, and sometimes I'm traveling. I having a short trip alone to the other province too. For recently, I went to Battambang, the other province of Cambodia, to get a program we call Vipassana meditation. I was so enjoying with this trip for myself because I know how strong I am, that I am so confident to travel alone. And I am so glad that I meet a lot of people, especially foreigners too, at the program. So thank you. Back to you, Melva.
Wow, I get surprised you travel by yourself. I mean, like you travel solo and go anywhere. Oh my God, I don't like to travel solo. It's like loneliness. I'm so sorry. Okay, thanks, Kanang, for sharing your experience.
Melwa, you're muted. Melwa, yeah, could you please unmute yourself, Melwa?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay, next question is for Deja. Let me stop. Okay. Deja, oh, what letter do you want to pick up?
May I please have
Just
L?
of label L, C, and Y. I'm so sorry. L. Deja.
L.
L. Okay, letter L. Here we go. Okay. This question. The question is, when you got opportunity to spend your holiday, what do you prefer? Going to beach or climbing mountain? When you get opportunity to spend your holiday, what do you prefer? Going to beach or climbing mountain? Deja, 1 to 2 minutes.
What do I prefer, the beach or mountains? That is a delightful question. Thank you, Melva. I would have to say neither. I want to go to the cities. The cities are where the people are. The cities are where the culture is. The cities are where the food is. I love the beach. I love the mountains. I love to explore everything, but I'm going to find the most out of my vacation, out of my holiday, as it's called outside of the US, in the city where I can meet new people, try new foods, experience new activities. It's in the cities is where it's at. And I have to say the cities, each one is different. Each one is, they have different ages that determine their culture. Each city has the place where it's located, the country where it's located, its history of the people migrating in and out, of empires taking over, or people having revolutions throwing over those empires, all of these things that color the culture of the city. And I want to experience that. I want to experience how the food has been influenced by the comings and goings of people of different cultures through that city. And I want to experience the works of art that are there from hundreds of years ago. And I want to experience the people that have come together and formed it an identity. And I want to see how that identity is different than my own from where I come from. So I would have to say, although beaches and mountains are great, I want to visit the cities. Thank you, Melva.
Thank you, Deja, for giving your experience. Oh my God, your thought is unique, the city, and neither of the question. Okay, timer. Should I stop the question or
You have time for only one more.
Okay. For one question, how about Katie? Katie, where are you? Okay. Katie, this is the last question. And the letter, wait. Sometimes technology makes me confused. Okay, Katie, what letter do you want to pick up?
Which letter left?
D and Y.
Oh, Y.
Y.
Yeah.
Okay, this is last question for you. The question is, if you have a plane to spend your holiday, what do you choose? Travel to tourist attraction or hidden place? If you have a plane to spend your holiday, what do you choose? Travel to tourist attraction or hidden place? Kathy, 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, that's very interesting topic. If I'm planning for my tourist, I would like to choose to somewhere I never plan to go. For example, most of the time, I just follow the traveling plan with my friends. If they told me, Kathy, let's go to somewhere, and I have time, then I will go with them. That's me. I seldom to make the plan by myself because we need to a lot of time to make the plan. And for me, I think I'm not good at to make plans, especially we need to plan where we were to go and how about the every day to spend. Also, about the hospital, the hotel, and the breakfast, the lunch or dinner. I don't think I'm good at that. But if you have a team, a very good team, one of the player is really good at to make the plan, and they like to do that. Why not to let them to do what they want to do, and we just follow and enjoy, and just to say, wow, good, very good plan. Yeah, I'm the one of them to say, wow. Okay, that's my topic, and that's what I would like to share with you. Back to Toastmaster.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kathy. So you just follow your friend that make a plane, list a plane, what place that you want to visit, right? Yeah, not bad. Thanks a lot, Kathy, for sharing your experience. And I think that's enough. Back to you, Christina.
Thank you, Melvis, for some really delightful table topics there. And they were clearly very accessible because people spoke for a reasonable length of time. And now we're really pleased to have Roku back. So just to remind you of her speech title, it is Interpersonal Communication Eliminates Workplace Conflicts. Please welcome back Roku.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster of the Day. Workplace conflicts are one of the most common undertakings which could be experienced by the individuals while working within any of the organization. Conflicts could be termed as one of the unavoidable parts in organization. But There are some reasons which could be identified as the causes of conflicts which takes place in the company. Workplace conflicts could be easily defined as a disagreement which takes place between any of the two or more individuals who are working together towards achievement of one single common goal. Every person who works in the organization comes from a different background where prevails differentiated mindset as well as perspectives, and accordance to the different values which prevails in each region the employees come from. There are different ways in which the conflicts are generally expressed, such as non-cooperation between the employees, verbal insults in some of the cases, anger, and physical growth. These could happen when the communication between the employees of the organization or leaders and employees is not clear, which creates a distance in the way each of the employee thinks. Sometimes organizational change may be the cause of workplace conflicts, because if in the organization there are changes occurring at an often pace, it becomes hard for the employees to keep up with the expectations which are made from them, and they become resistant to change, which occurs in the organization. Such conflicts generally take place between the leader of the company and the employees on the fact that they are not accurately informed about the changes that are happening while losing the effective essence of communication. When conflicts are resolved in the organization amicably, there occurs at most chances which leads to generation of new ideas, better relationships, and excellent performance of the employees. This could be done easily with the help of interpersonal communication between employees and the leaders. Interpersonal communication is the way of communication which takes place between two individuals in which they share with each other information and the feelings which are present in them, so that a middle way could be found out to make things work in a manner that avoid creation of workplace conflicts. Communication in the world and between individuals is the solid way to express the opinions as well as the feelings which are present in minds of human beings. For example, when we come and attend the club meeting, we try to hear people speaking in the meeting so that we could create notes about the same, outlining the facts which may hurt another person and thus avoid doing so. This is the kind of interpersonal communication which we have in this meeting, where not only speaking is important, but also listening is equally essential. If in the communication, opinions of both the sides are not heard particularly and authentically, then the benefits of communication could never be experienced. Interpersonal communication inhibits and develops in every individual the correct form in which they should converse with the other person within the organization, so that all the chances of conflict creation could be put to an end. Interpersonal communication is of 4 types, namely verbal, in which the coverage of words used by any of the person is noted, and the persuasive tone which is being adopted by them. Listening, in which the ability of every person is tested in respect of listening capacity. The written word, where the written communication is done in a manner that the clarity is provided to another individual. And lastly, non-verbal communication, wherein the note is taken of the body language, facial expressions, voice tone, and gestures, so that the listener is able to pick up exactly those points which are necessary for their smooth working in the organization. If these 4 types of interpersonal communication are adopted by each and every people who works in the companies, then maximum workplace conflicts could be reduced and resolved completely. Interpersonal communication eliminates workplace conflicts is said so because of the fact that only things which are being spoken by a person does not hold all the importance, but being aware of how your body language speaks is also important. Because while talking to an individual in the workplace, if the leader or other employee would be yawning or diverting their mind here and there, the message being communicated could never reach another person perfectly, creating all sort of confusions in their mind. But if the same is done with efficiency and interpersonal communication is completely used, all conflicts could be eliminated and peaceful environment is formed. Thank you, and back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Roku. I think it's always such a testament to members when something goes wrong with technology and they come back very calm and collected and restore themselves beautifully, as Roku did. That's a really good example to us all. Now it's time to move on to our evaluation section of the meeting, which is going to be led by our general evaluator, who is Michelle. And Michelle tells me about her favorite holiday, which sounds amazing. She had a 2-month trip to Europe, a combination of 2 cruises and land tours by train to Italy, Spain, and Greece. How inspiring is that? I've learned lots about our members and guests today. Thank you so much for sharing. And on that note, I'm going to pass over to Michelle to introduce our evaluators for today. Please help me to welcome Michelle.
Thank you so much, Christina. And we have quite a packed schedule today, so I will proceed immediately to calling our first evaluator and then give my general comments after we're done with all of my team. So the first, I believe, yes, it is Ayu to evaluate our first speaker, Stephen. Let's welcome Ayu.
Stephen, congratulations on your job offer. Yay! Finally, you made it. Thank you for sharing your happiness, as it is contagious. We are feeling the same way as you are. In terms of evaluation and feedback, I would like to point out 2 things on what you did good. The first one is structure. Open with a little acting, phone conversation, that was nice. And then the body, you told a story, a personal story, when you were going through the process of getting that job offer. And then the closing, you were giving a message, a strong message of being confident leads to a miracle. That was all nicely done. The second thing is your speech was in a very good chronological order. You said 2 weeks later, a week later, 2 weeks passed. From having a job information to a job offer. To make your speech even better and go to another level, I would like to suggest on the delivery part. You can see when I do like this, do you see my hand? Not really. But when you put your hand like this, we can see your gesture, that gesture will emphasize your message. So probably you can say, you were saying like, being confident will transform or lead to a miracle. So this is a functional gesture.
It's 23 hours.
Number two, I know you were a little bit messed up at the time with your speech, but my suggestion will be, Stephen, be creative. Audience don't need to know that you are doing something wrong. You can just say, for example, well, fellow Toastmaster, one thing I want to tell you first before I go on with the next part of the story, then you go back to where you left. This is just an example. I believe you can do better than my example, right? So Stephen and fellow Toastmaster, on behalf of everyone here, we want to wish you all the best on your next journey in your workplace and in life. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Ayu, for a very animated and delightful evaluation. I'm sure Stephen appreciates your comments and suggestions as well. Let us now move on to our second evaluator, Yasmin, who will be offering her feedback to our speaker, Roku. Let's welcome Yasmin.
Thank you very much, ma'am, General Evaluator. It's always a pleasure to evaluate Ruku. Ruku was presenting from level 3, conflict resolution. It was clearly an informational speech. Ruku, do you know your strengths? Your confidence. You are such a confident speaker. The clarity of the voice. You're very clear when you are talking. And the presence on the screen. You have a very pleasant presence. So people feel like to hear and to see you. But you are at level 3. So now is the time to really get out of the comfort zone and put yourself saying, okay, this is what I can't do and I want to do. Because I have now gathered you are very good at collecting information and presenting information. But as a feedback, I would like to take you 2 key points. First, simplify. Just think of having one subject. It's going to be difficult, but think of how you can just pick up one subject or one item of the whole set and deliver a 7-minute speech with that. The beauty that will happen with this simple simplification is that you will attract audience. And you will find room to attract audience. There are several tools you would be able to use. For example, you will be able to have humor involved. You will have time to even engage audience. You will have time to sort of, create curiosity, to tell a story. So with this narrowing to one subject, you will have a lot of tools to play with. So try experimenting it and see if it really takes you to a zone which you are not comfortable or you have not yet discovered. But then I have to say, thank you very much. You lived by the subject in the sense it was a speech on conflict resolution, but it would have been much better if you would have just had presented one case where you yourself experienced it, and simplicity and how to attract the audience. So to attract the audience, keep things simple. Even the title, shortened and simple. So that's my simple feedback to you. And I look forward for having the speech back again. Giving it back to you, ma'am, General Evaluator.
What a delightful evaluation, Yasmin. And for those who are not aware, Yasmin was the District 7 evaluation champion the previous year, not 2 years back. Yes, thank you. And I'm sure Roku will be inspired to strive for that next level of delivering speeches. Let us now hear from our grammarian, who is, by her own description, a senior guest. That was a lovely word choice. Let's hear from Yella.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, I'm not muted. Just a reminder, what is the word of today? If someone can type in the chat box, please let me know. Okay, so our word of the day is delightful. Here are some people who have already used the word. Mary, thank you very much for using the word in the chat box. Deja, Christina, Tiger, and our general evaluator, Michelle, thank you very much. So for those who have already used the word of the day, who I didn't catch, I'm so sorry, because of, I think the internet has some issue in my house and I had trouble listening to some of the speeches. But here are some of the shining points of today's meeting. So there are some sentences that I heard from Stephen. He said that she asked some challenging question, which is questions, not question. But he also said that confidence is magic. If you show it, miracle would happen. Very powerful. What's going on? And Amber, in your speech, you said, when I visited other countries, I would be adding feathers to my wings. Very, very beautiful sentence. And Deja, I love the sentence when you're describing the cities where the people are, where the culture is. And I couldn't hear the rest, but that was a very beautiful sentence. And that is all for my delivery today. Thank you very much. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you. That was a delightful report on how we used grammar. Now let us hear from our counter. And I know from her sampler earlier that she has this very perceptive ear. So let's welcome Julie to give us her counter's report.
I am sorry, because in counter report, we don't say much about those who where I found nothing. Like Ayu and Yasmin, I found no repeating words at all. But let's begin with Christina. Christina, our Toastmaster of the day, at the beginning used 7 so. Sarah, timer used only twice. Stephen used once or at that time, and 4 so. The speaker, Raimana, used a lot of time interpersonal communication. A little bit too much, in my opinion. Toastmaster, table topic master, Maha, used 3 Jasmine used 2 so and 1 Jerry used Amber used so and used to and. Can used for and. Katie used 1 and 1 And most of the time, it was delightful for all of those who didn't use anything, any filler words. And that is my report.
Thank you so much, Julie. That was one of the most delightful counter reports I've ever heard, including the way that you imitated or copied the sound. I love that. You just got me all awake with that. And speaking of awake, now it's time to hear our, well, I don't know why I segued into that, but I am awake now and I just realized, oh yes, we need to hear our timers report. So let us hear Sarah. How well did we use time?
Thank you, Michelle. We started the meeting on time. Then we had some delay in the first part. I noticed the Toastmaster of the day has 10 minutes while the president didn't have that much time in the agenda. So I decided to split in those two roles the time. Maybe it's something we need to check in the agenda. Then for the speakers, they were on time. Stephen with 6 minutes 58 and Ruku 6 minutes and 45 seconds for the second time she connected. Then table topic times, I already shared them with you. They were above 1 minute and just slightly above 2 minutes, some of them. So just to be careful. And for the evaluators, we had Ayu with 3 minutes and 14 seconds and Jasmine with 2 minutes and 25 minutes. Some other remark I need to do. Normally the table topics time is where the timer needs to check how the meeting is going on, take more table topics or less table topics. I forgot to do that. That was my fault. And that's why we are still like running out a little bit of time. But thank you to all the other role players to do your role very fast so that we are almost finishing on time. Back to you, Michelle.
Excellent and very wonderful self-insight. The fact that we did have our second speaker still to come back and deliver. So it's easy to lose track because of the sequence being reversed. Now, we only have a few minutes, so I will be very quick. I just wanted to say that I was so impressed with the way our Toastmaster of the day ran the meeting. What was the word that Yasmin used? I can't remember the word, but I just could see how Christina was demonstrating it. So unflappable. So, Christina, for lack of a better word, so British. I just love it. You know, I can think of how the Queen, her royalty, even if everything is all hell is breaking loose. Oh my goodness, still very calm. You were that. You were the epitome. I loved how you handled the entire meeting with all of this minor glitches and all that. And another kudos for our table topics master. Those were great questions. And I know that you took the time to research, come up with the images. Just one suggestion, when you show images, as soon as you've called the speaker and he or she starts speaking, take off the image or the slide so that we can see the person's face, the speaker's face, rather than a tiny thing on the side. Our evaluators were both very good, and the speakers, despite some glitches, I loved the fact that they went on with the show. Table topics, some of the answers were definitely delightful. Yes, in keeping with our theme. And let me see if I've missed anyone. Oh yes, our president. I loved how she started the meeting with delightful animation and asked our first-time guests to introduce themselves. Maybe one suggestion is when you call people to introduce themselves, mention briefly. We'd like to hear some brief comments from you so that, you know, our guests know that we just need this briefly. And other than that, I hope I have, oh, of course, our timer. I gave that comment already that I loved your insight that you realized there should have been some sequencing adjustment. Great job there. Let me see. I think I've covered everyone. So let's return control back to our unflappable and regal Christina, Toastmaster of the day. Back to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. That was very kind. I think it's been a fabulous team. It's such a lovely club. I think everybody is very supportive, very reactive when you ask for information or for somebody taking a role at the last minute. It's just, yeah, a very inspiring club. And thank you all for responding to me so quickly. I've loved being your Toastmaster, but my job is done for today. And I'm going to pass you back to our, I think, even more regal President, Yasmin. Please welcome back, Yasmin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. 30 seconds, friends, who did not find our meeting delightful today. Raise your hand if you did not find our meeting delightful. He is the only COVID positive. Send him for isolation. And we all go because that's the beauty of being negative. In the COVID world, we love to be COVID negative. Thank you very much for a delightful meeting. And in just a favor of time, I'm just going to adjourn the meeting.